So you have a goldfish, and you've probably asked yourself the big question, is my little guy lonely in there? It's a great thought, but giving your goldfish a friend is, well, it's a way bigger deal than you might think, and choosing the wrong one can cause some serious problems. I mean, you look into the tank and there it is, just swimming in circles, doing its thing, and you can't help but feel a little bad, right? You think maybe it needs a buddy, a companion to share that little glass world with. It totally comes from a good place. But, and this is a huge but, giving your goldfish a friend isn't as simple as picking someone you like to be your roommate. The wrong choice? Well, that's where things get dicey. And when I say dicey, I mean it can be genuinely disastrous. We're not just talking about a little stress. We're talking injury, bullying, and yeah, in the worst cases, it can be a fatal mistake for your goldfish and for the new fish you just brought home. The stakes are way higher than people realize. And hey, don't just take my word for it. Aquarium Source nails it right here. Goldfish are a special case. They have this very specific set of needs that just doesn't line up with most of the other fish you see at the pet store. So, how do we get this right? How do we find that perfect friend? Well, let's break it down.
All right, it really comes down to 4 simple rules. Think of it as a compatibility quiz. If a fish can't pass all 4 sections of the test, sorry, they're not moving in.
First up, rule number 1, temperature. This is a big one. Goldfish like their water on the cooler side, and that range is just plain too cold for most of the popular tropical fish out there. You know, your guppies, your tetras. Putting a tropical fish in a goldfish tank is kind of like asking your friend from Florida to move to Alaska without a coat. It's just not going to end well.
Okay, rule number 2 is all about temperament. Let's be honest, goldfish are big, slow, peaceful goofballs. They really can't defend themselves from pushy or aggressive fish. And you see those beautiful long flowing fins on fancy goldfish? To a fin nipper like a tiger barb, that's basically a giant waving kick-me sign. We need chill vibes only in this tank.
Now, for a really important one. Rule number 3, size. Goldfish live by a very simple motto. If it fits in my mouth, it is food. I am not kidding. They will try to eat anything. Small fish? That's a snack. So the rule couldn't be simpler. Any tank mate has to be too big to become lunch.
And finally, rule number 4, speed. Now this one's interesting because it can even disqualify other goldfish. Imagine you've got a zippy little comet goldfish in a tank with a slow, wobbly fantail. Dinner time comes and whoosh, the comet zips around and eats everything before the poor fantail even knows what's happening. The energy levels have to be a match.
Now, before we move on, I want to bust a quick myth. We all call goldfish cold water fish, right? Well, that's not the whole story. The more accurate word is eurothermal, which is just a fancy way of saying they can handle a pretty wide range of temperatures. And this is awesome news for us. It means our list of potential friends is a little bigger than you might think.
So, we have our 4 rules. But what happens if you break them? Let's dive into a few horror stories to really see why following these rules is so incredibly important.
You might be thinking, okay, but what could really happen if I ignore just one rule, like the size rule? Let me tell you. A lot of people think Corydoras catfish are a good fit. They're peaceful, they hang out at the bottom, it seems perfect. But this is a classic pairing that can end in absolute disaster.
Here's exactly how it plays out. Your goldfish, being a goldfish, sees the small cory and thinks, ooh, a snack. It tries to swallow it. But the cory gets terrified and it has this wild defense mechanism. It locks its sharp spines on its fins straight out. Those spines get stuck hard in the goldfish's throat. The goldfish can't spit it out, the cory can't escape, and it's a tragic, fatal situation for both of them. It's just a heartbreaking example of why these rules matter.
So, to make it crystal clear, here is your official do not invite list. Most tropical fish are out because of temperature. Aggressive fish like cichlids or bettas, absolutely not. Fin nippers, just bullies. Tiny things like cherry shrimp, they're just an expensive meal. And a special warning for common plecos. They have this awful habit of sucking on the protective slime coat of a goldfish, which can cause really bad infections. Avoid all of these at all cost.
Okay, enough of the scary stuff, I promise. The good news is this isn't impossible. There are actually some fantastic tank mates that pass our 4 rules with flying colors. So let's flip the script and meet the A-team of goldfish companions.
So who's on the VIP list? First up, the bristlenose pleco. These guys are awesome. They're peaceful, they handle cooler water, and their armored bodies mean they're definitely not on the menu. Rosy barbs are also great. They're active but peaceful, and they grow big enough to be safe. You've also got mystery snails, which are basically little armored cleanup crews, and white cloud minnows are cool water natives too. Just remember that size rule. You need to make sure they're big enough that your adult goldfish doesn't get any funny ideas.
Okay, so you've done your research, you've picked the perfect new buddy. Fantastic. But hold on, you're not done yet. You can't just drop the new guy in and hope for the best. How you introduce them is absolutely critical for creating a peaceful tank.
It's a simple 3-step process, but trust me, you can't skip any of it. Step 1. Quarantine. Every new fish goes into a separate tank for a few weeks. This is non-negotiable. You do not want to introduce diseases to your main tank. Step 2. Acclimate. You have to get them used to your tank's water slowly to avoid shock. And finally, Step 3. Observe. Once they're in, just watch. For the first couple of days, be a good fish parent and make sure everyone is getting along.
You know, at the end of the day, that aquarium is a little world that you are in complete control of. You're the one who builds the community. By understanding these rules of friendship, you get to create a place that's not just surviving, but actually thriving. So the only question left is, who are you going to invite in?